Wherever I direct my finger, there lies a miracle. Rain descends from the heavens, and the oceans give rise to land. All beings are equal, formed from the essence of water. And in their dissolution, they too will return to the realm of the dead. Evil be gone. You're courting death. Ignorant fool. I shall grant you death. The filth has been purged.
This is a hero analysis on the newest SSR hero Izanagi, the Japanese mythical brother-husband of Izanami. He is an SSR Shadow Arch tank hero who specializes in counterattacks. Let's start the analysis. Starting with skills. His ultimate skill Reverse Blade of the Underworld has a passive and active effect. The passive effect is for his general counterattack function, stating he starts the battle in a counterattack stance with 75% damage reduction. If attacked within 2 seconds, he counterattacks with 3 attacks of 150% attack each and a 2.5 second AoE stun to the attacker. If the attacker is outside his counterattack range, this passive effect's counterattack is not used. He can use this counterattack after an 8-second cooldown, and he is immune to control during its use. His counterattack is a great way to mix offensive and defensive abilities. Both Hercules and him have counterattack skills, but Hercules is luck-based while Izanagi is cooldown-based. One disadvantage of his counterattack stance is that it only lasts for 2 seconds at a time. If no one attacks him, that counterattack stance goes wasted with Izanagi doing nothing else during that time. The active effect puts him into a counterattack stance and gives him 2 instances of enhanced counterattack with a storage max of 4. Enhanced counterattack gives him a larger counterattack range, increases the 3 attacks damage to 400% attack each, and restores 20% of lost HP. Izanagi has 1 passive and 2 active skills. His auto attack restores 75 attack energy. His first active skill Divine Counterattack addresses the part in Reverse Blade of the Underworld where Izanagi gets attacked by a ranged attacker outside of his counterattack range. In these cases, Divine Counterattack sends a wave of counterattack to the attacker, dealing 260% attack and a 2.5 second silence to all enemies in the wave path. If he has enhanced counterattack available, the attack also reduces attack speed by 40% for 2 seconds. Despite being an active skill, Divine Counter does not restore attack energy. His second active skill the Oath of 1500 gives him a 5-second period where he heals for 165% of all damage he takes, effectively making him invulnerable. With his counterattack feature, this skill makes him extremely difficult to kill. The Oath of 1500 restores 150 attack energy. His passive skill Divine Punishment Brand applies a self-buff after a successful counterattack. It increases his auto-attack damage by 75% attack and inflicts wound for 6 seconds on his next target, which can stack 3 times. Wound deals 4% max HP damage per second, so this skill makes him deadly not only during his counterattacks but afterwards too. Next is equipment. By nature of being a tank, his default artifact should be Aegis Shield or Scarab Badge if the shield isn't available. For runes, Earth runes complete the typical tank equipment set. However, I have experimented with air runes on other tank heroes Athena, Leonidas, and Ymir, and I think air runes can work for Izanagi too. The purpose is to have him reuse the Oath of 1500 faster to keep his invulnerable state active as much as possible. Next are IW and IW skills. His iconic weapon focuses on his Draco HP and Genbu defense, as expected of a tank hero. For his IW2 nodes, they can either be yellow for more physical damage reduction on top of his Chimera physical resistance, or green to balance his physical and magical defenses. The node attributes should be defensive, but it is okay if there are some offensive ones to enhance his counterattack. His IW skills primarily focus on improving his counterattack. IW 100 gives him silence immunity. IW 200 and 300 reduce his counterattack's 8-second cooldown by a respective maximum of 2 and 3 seconds depending on numbers of enemies hit by it, giving 0.25 and 0.5 second reductions for each one hit. IW 400 increases his parry by 50% for 4 seconds after using a counterattack. IW 500 guarantees a critical hit for counterattacks on enemies that already have the wound effect. IW 600 records his reduced damage taken during counterattacks. Once the recorded damage reaches 50% of his max HP, his next Divine Punishment brand applies wound to all enemies and increases their continuous damage taken by 35%, any time after its first use in the battle. Upon applying the team-wide wound, his recorded damage resets. Next are Divinity skills. He has a fairly good set of Divinity skills. Some of them play well into his counterattack skill set. 2 nodes, any of the tier 1 skills are good to pick and play with. 3 nodes, pick one of the tier 1 skills and toxicity. Remember that his IW 600 applies the continuous damage effect wound on all enemies and increases any of that type of damage by 35%. Toxicity counts for that too, and its level 4 effect also increases continuous damage. For nodes, add another tier 1 skill for PvE. For PvP, taking either of the other tier 2 skills instead of toxicity is an option too. 5 nodes, pick fanaticism and toxicity for PvE. For PvP, pick fanaticism and either of the other tier 2 skills. 6 nodes, pick culmination, toxicity, and excitement for PvE. For PvP, Animus is an alternative to culmination, and resonance or broken mirror are alternatives to toxicity. Excitement stays. 7 nodes, pick culmination, fanaticism, and excitement for PvE. For PvP, pick resonance, broken mirror, and excitement. Next is PvE and boss performance. He should perform fairly well in the PvE campaign. I would guess that he is useful for battles where the enemy is dealing too much damage for the average team to handle, such as the infamous Typhon stages. However, he is not a good fit for boss battles. There are other Shadow Arch or tank heroes that can offer better damage or utility skill sets for those cases. Next is Crusade of Edda performance. He is not ideal for Crusade. He could be a good path hero, but he is not an Asterial Divinity main hero. Also, as I just mentioned, he is not meant for boss battles. Next is PvP performance. Having picked him for Leap of Faith 10, I tested Izanagi properly in full Divinity 2 teams. My initial thought about Izanagi was placing him in 2 teams to test his PvP performance. Oda's team as his main tank hero and the current top meta team as a forward replacement for Morana while pushing her to the back line. Let's look at the friendly battles.
I shall destroy all! Is my theory wrong?
I'll rise again.
Is my theory wrong? I shall destroy all. Reflection!
Ashes completely ignited.
The filth has been purged.
You'd all be extinct in my forest.
Rule by fear and force.
My open prey!
I grant you death.
All foes must fall.
The world belongs to the strong.
Death for oblivion. I'll smash you to rubble. Lead by the heart. Completely ignited. Bring
I grant you death.
falling.
I have yet to return.
Death for oblivion. Always
I grant you death.
Abandon all. flames cannot be extinguished.
I spread death.
I will protect you.
Underestimate.
My flames cannot be extinguished. Sleep by the sun. Abandon all. It's spell for you. Seismic force! I will protect you. For oblivion. I'll smash you to rubble. Seed of eternity. Sleep by the sun. Bring him up. A landslide! It fell for you. Blessings of the sacred flame. For oblivion. Spring has been defeated.
As we observed, Izanagi is limited in his contributions to the teams. His main role was providing enough stall time for Artemis and Oda or just Morana to reach their peak power and finish the battles. As far as his counterattack damage, it was not as impactful as I initially thought it would be. Counterattack stance's weakness was shown to be fast attacks as we saw him trying to defend against an enemy Artemis or Amaterasu. Even with their runes, he was not reactivating the Oath of 1500 and his counterattack stance fast enough to absorb the incoming damage. His skill set is better for countering extremely strong hits done in a short timeframe, such as Oberon's ultimate skill Homecoming or Zeus's Wrath of God. Let's summarize Izanagi. He is an SSR Shadow Arch tank hero who specializes in counterattacks. His strengths are his ability to combine offensive and defensive abilities for his skill set, and a flexible Divinity skill set for both PvE and PvP needs. His weaknesses are counterattack stance's short active duration and a lack of versatility for game events and high-end PvP. This concludes Izanagi's analysis. Thanks for listening.